Think you can ace this WAEC biology exam? Prove it. Which organelle is primarily responsible for the synthesis of lipids and the detoxification of drugs? Plasmolysis in a plant cell occurs when it is placed in which type of solution? Which of the following cellular structures is found in plant cells but is absent in animal cells? The highest level of biological organization exhibited by a hydra is the active transport differs from simple diffusion primarily because active transport in the light-dependent stage of photosynthesis, the splitting of water molecules is known as which of the following digestive enzymes functions optimally in a highly acidic medium? The primary role of bile in the digestion of food is to which mineral element is a crucial structural component of chlorophyll molecules in plants? The dentition of a typical herbivore features a distinct gap between the incisors and premolars called the The mammalian heart is described as myogenic because in a dicotyledonous stem, which vascular tissue is responsible for the downward translocation of manufactured food? Which blood vessel carries oxygenated blood from the lungs directly to the heart? The main driving force for the ascent of SAEP in tall trees is the end product of anaerobic respiration in mammalian muscle cells during strenuous exercises. Which part of the mammalian respiratory system acts as a flap to prevent food from entering the trachea? In cellular respiration, the Krebs cycle, citric acid cycle, occurs in the The net ATP yield from the glycolysis of one single glucose molecule is the basic structural and functional unit of the mammalian kidney is the ultrafiltration in the mammalian kidney occurs across the membrane of the Which of the following structures serves as the primary excretory organ in insects? The active regulation of water and salt balance in the mammalian body is termed the microscopic gap between two adjacent neurons where neurotransmitters are released is called the Which part of the human brain is primarily responsible for coordinating voluntary muscular movements and maintaining posture? The hormone responsible for stimulating the conversion of excess glucose to glycogen in the liver is Phototropism in plant shoots is mediated by the unequal distribution of which plant hormone? The sudden, involuntary withdrawal of a hand from a hot object is an example of a In flowering plants, the process of double fertilization results in the formation of The site of sperm maturation and temporary storage in the mammalian male reproductive system is the Which of the following organisms typically reproduces asexually by the process of budding? The placenta in mammals is formed from the integration of maternal uterine tissue and the embryonic Epigeal germination is best characterized by the A biological association where one organism benefits while the other is neither harmed nor benefits is called Which ecological pyramid is always upright and can never be inverted? The continuous progressive change in the composition of a biological community over time is known as In the nitrogen cycle, denitrifying bacteria perform which specific function? Which of the following is considered an abiotic factor in an ecosystem? The carrying capacity of a habitat refers to the observable characteristics of an organism resulting from the interaction of its genes and the environment is its A cross between a homozygous tall plant and a homozygous dwarf plant will produce F1 offspring that are Which human blood group is generally known as the universal recipient? A sudden, inheritable change in the genetic material of an organism is technically called a The theory of evolution by natural selection was formally proposed by The presence of vestigial organs, such as the human appendix, serves as evidence for Sex-linked traits in humans, such as hemophilia and colorblindness, are most commonly carried on the Which of the following cellular structures is responsible for the formation of spindle fibers during cell division in animal cells? The primary function of the villi in the mammalian small intestine is to In human blood, which cellular component is primarily responsible for the transport of oxygen? Stomata in plant leaves typically open when the surrounding guard cells become The Bowman's capsule is a cup-shaped structure in the kidney that encloses a dense network of capillaries called the